of us like to call Niue home, but the reality is that most of us live in Aotearoa. With more and more leaving, the future of Niue's cultural maintenance might be in places like the epic high school's cultural festival, Polyfest.
So having a Niue stage on its own, right? And it's also the first stage. As soon as you enter and bang, you see that bright yellow flag. It's super important. We are a bit of the underdog. Numbers and also just our people in general, a bit more humble, a bit more conservative culturally. The young Niueans here, we struggle, right, with our culture and our language, and it's like, you just look at the stats. There's 11% of us out of all of the Niueans in New Zealand and Niue that can speak Wangho Niue. So certainly I think Polyfest has done an incredible job in terms of giving Niuean people a platform to practice and share and celebrate the Niuean culture and language, but there's so much more to be done, right? We are still struggling, and that's very clear. And so I think, yes, there's a 50-year celebration this year, but I'm interested in what are we going to do next? Like, what's next for us as Niue people?
If you look at our people here in New Zealand, we're the worst performers economically in terms of employment, educational qualifications, jobs. We haven't done that well. You could argue, what are we celebrating?
And if you're talking about statistics, it's the realm countries' languages that are most at risk because of their expectation to assimilate. And we took on board the education system, which was on a curriculum of New Zealand. And with the language went a lot of that cultural identity and pride. And it's now taking how many generations to reclaim all of that? And it also makes us rethink whether that was the best option.
Yeah, for advice nanga koinga e tau advice how ke he whaua I New Zealand e whiaoto ke o mai ke no nofa mot. Ai mo ne.
O mai ni ka ke tai to whare si no nof. Ka o mai ke tau e te wharakere kere ka iha. Ne whato ke rea Pule Fakamotu. I riu mai ke no nofa mot. Koe mena ne tangata Niuea gai. Wanga hau e wanga hau Niue. Ka pehea koe ko Niuea gai ka iloa koe wanga hau Niue. Ai ko Niuea gai.
We want to say to all our Niue.
Now, when it comes to conversations that I've heard of, you are not Niuean or you're not tangata Niue unless you speak the language. And I've heard that. And I've heard people use that as the reason why they won't even attempt to go to night schools or go to learning schools to pick up the language.
As I got older, I started to dread in certain ways just because I was scared and how the people on the island might react to me as not being full Niue.
I don't know what it is to be 100% Niuean because I'm not. And I accept that. But I'm learning, you know what I mean? A lot of older heads, they're gonna look at me and just be like, you're not Niuean. You can't even wangahau, you can't even speak the language. You haven't even been to the island since you were a baby. So what makes you Niuean? You know, like speaking down on us and stuff? Just be more accepting. We ain't got much to work with, so that's all you got, mate. Let's help each other out so we can all get on the same page.
The more that I engage with our New Zealand-born Niueans, the more hopeful and optimistic I am with this generation. So we can't change the ways of our matuas and how they think. They had different sets of challenges that have shaped the way that they see the world. And that's why sometimes it comes across as harsh. Nobody can tell you who you are or who you aren't. The only person that can define who you are is yourself. There are no people that can say, "Ko koe tangata Niue atata," that I'm full Niuean. I'm a mixed blend. What does that look like? How do we honor both cultures?
No one's going to tell me I'm not Niuean, even though I don't live on the island. We're just got to be much more inclusive and accepting of the fact that some Niueans are going to live in Melbourne, some in Auckland, and some in Niue. We just got to build those pathways and connections and enable and support people to contribute.
Here in New Zealand and Australia or other, they need to have those lessons in order to maintain. Because if we lose our language, that means we'll lose our identity. It's simple as that.
Sa ka be hoko me ke tau whanau heaonga. Ka be whaka tau tu Fakamotu talatala wala kau. Mau paupu e tau anga Fakamotu ha Niue. So mene ne mahuanga lehi. Ke whakamauru, ke whaka tu hou fou e tupu hake ke mau tu funga. Mau e mga hau.
When I first came back from Niuean and I moved back to New Zealand, I made sure that everyone knew I was Niuean. Carried the flag with me everywhere. And I make sure too that everyone in the room knows that I'm Niuean.
One of the conversations that I had with an artist in New Zealand of Niue descent, I said, hey, I know you're proud of your Niue culture. He goes, nah, I'm embarrassed because wherever I go and people talk to me, I can't speak back. And I said, do this in the next time you go live and all your videos that you're doing, just hang the Niue flag in your music video. He goes, yeah. I goes, they don't need to know that you can't speak it. Soon as people visually see the Niue flag behind you in your music video, you don't even have to mention Niue. If they visually see the gold flag, they're going to be like, proud Niuean. That's enough. And for me, acknowledging is enough.
There are many stories of young Niueans doing well, including Dukin Williams, whom if Niue wasn't late registering for the Olympics, could have been fighting in Paris in 2024.
I'm thankful for everything that I've accomplished as a Niuean boxer. When I first started boxing, it was always just like a dream or just like a goal to fight at the Commonwealth Games. I always had in the back of my mind to want to fight for Niuean. Being Niuean means to me, I get to be myself and I get to represent for the people, and that's my people.
Being a Niuean to me means being proud of where I come from, honouring those who came before me, and making my ancestors proud.
Being proud of where you're from, being proud of who you are, no matter where you are in the world, that's what it means to be Niuean, and also to be defiant. That's what we stem from, eh? We told Cook to fuck off.
I'm proud that we don't have our white sandy beaches. I'm proud that Savage Cook got chased away the first time. I'm proud that, you know, our population is so small in the world, but on a global scale, we are everywhere.
I'm one of many Niueans that have worked hard to get to where I have, and I have always, you know, not only given glory to God, but give glory to the people who live here in Niue and continue to do it for us, so we have a place to come home to.
Ai fai tu me falanda ka tawa ha ki limong futo e la ki sia tawa. Si la fi lunga foki o tu mo wi ga ha hoko ki ai lo ka hoko no limong futo ki mo. Ki sia ga ha tawa ha okay. Tu tala do ha ni limong futo ki mo to mo wi ngai na kai ki sia e kehi ko ngoi kehi ko ngoi e hikianga ki mo. Uka.
I think we need to celebrate because there were dire predictions in 1974 that it was only a matter of time before the last person to leave the island will have to turn out the lights. Well, if you look around the island now, it's still here. We're still very much alive. The population is still small, but there's a community feel to the island.
If you think about the Tangata Niue and our contributions, not only to our island, but to this region and to the world, per capita, I mean, we punch way above our weight.
For a small nation, we have done so much. We have added a lot to this country. Small as we are, we've added to the fabric of this nation.
If you want to live in an island, you have to accept that you're on an island. That shouldn't be the case. We should be looking at it as like we're on Niue, we're enjoying the same benefits and opportunities as those in Auckland, Wellington, Sydney. That's my dream for my kids, and encompasses everyone.
When we first came to New Zealand, speaking Niuean wasn't encouraged. And then now, it's gone full circle, and most of the work that I get is because I can speak Niuean. There's a lot more people now claiming their Niueanness and claiming their culture than, say, when I was growing up. It gives you hope. It gives me hope.
I'm celebrating resilience, the sacrifices made to get here, having somewhere to call home, and an awareness of the dire situation we're in, and the solutions so far set in place. I'm celebrating hope. We may not have bitten the bullet, but I think we have an idea of what it tastes like, and what we do with that knowing is up to us. Wanu tangaloa, ki tu ea.